Hey everyone, I'm Brian Easterday and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So in today's video, I'm going to be continuing my Sun Through the Sign series, and I'll be discussing Sun in the sign of Gemini. What are the qualities when Sun enters the sign of Gemini? But before I get to that, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss on any videos that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. So what are the qualities of the Sun when it enters into the sign of Gemini in someone's birth chart? Well, the Sun can do well here. This definitely is a placement that brings intelligence and things like that. So let's look at Gemini to start with. Since we've already been discussing the Sun, so you should be familiar with its qualities. It's a masculine planet. It's fiery. It's individualistic. It's goal-oriented. It's our ego. It's our soul. Those type of things. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch the previous videos in that series because as you watch each of the videos, it will give you more information about how the Sun actually operates. And this is a thing in astrology to remember. Research your own placements, but don't stop there. Just because, for example, your Sun's in Gemini, don't just watch this video and be like, oh, I'm done now. I know everything there is to know. No, go and watch how the Sun is in Aries and Taurus and Cancer and Leo and all the other videos, because each of those is going to give you more understanding of the Sun. And then by having more understanding of the Sun, when you look at the Sun in Gemini, you'll get deeper insights into it. So approach your study of astrology holistically. And this would be a great thing to do if you have a Sun in Gemini, because Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is our intellect, our communication. So if you want to study and you want to learn, Mercury is the planet that you're going to be using, and Gemini is the masculine or the external expression of that. So it's a sign that is all about intelligence, communication, friendship, research, knowing things, knowledge, connection with people, those different type of things. It's symbolized by the twins, or you could also think of them as lovers. They're depending on the context you wish. So if you think about them as twins, you could think about them just as like one way you could think about it would be like a good twin and a bad twin type of thing. That there's this polarity here. So they might be this way with one person and this way with another person. That type of thing. That can definitely come in. The other way you can think about it is if being symbolized by the lovers of masculine and feminine. So it's still polarity, right? But it's the masculine and feminine. So it's about coming together, relationships, connections, those type of things. I mean, when you think about what is like our communication, intellect, those type of things, like with communication, it's definitely a masculine and feminine type of thing that you have to have, because one person has to like communicate, put an external expression out there. So the masculine, the other person has to have the feminine expression, receive that, then they process it, and then and then it goes back and forth. It's a Shravana back and forth. The Shravana Nakshatra is all about this. So it's a path or a flow of communication back and forth. Even with ideas, same thing. You have to come across information, either receive it through reading about it or hearing about it or seeing, whatever the input may be. You get information and then you have to process that information and then do something with it. So it's very much a receiving and a giving and a back and forth. So it's masculine and feminine. So Gemini deals a lot with this. Any type of polarity, doing different things. So someone with the Sun in Gemini might experience that as going through life, especially in their younger years, that they might have went through different phases of identity where they went from like different extremes. Like maybe at one point they were kind of a nerdy study type of kid, and at another point they maybe went through like a goth phase, and another, or whatever it may be. But going through these different phases of identities that could seem like total opposites of each other, like at totally different polarities. But by doing that, they get a more holistic, a broader experience, and through that they kind of figure out who they really are over a period of time. This is a similar quality that we'll talk about that you can see like with a Sun when it comes into the sign of Libra, those type of things. Libra is a sign that very much can deal with that similar theme of polarity and having different experiences and changes in which to kind of figure out where the middle is. Gemini isn't so much about finding out where the middle is like Libra, but it is about having the different range of experiences. That quality is still there for sure. Now, people with Sun in Gemini, they will tend to be very intelligent people, and their intelligence will be tied up with their ego, or their ego will be tied up with their intelligence. I guess that would be a better way to put it. That how smart they feel, like how intelligent they feel, will have a direct influence on kind of like how good they feel about themselves. So this is a key here that one, never let your ego fall into like a narcissistic type of thinking where it's like, oh, just because I know more than this other person, I'm better than them. That's the unhealthy expression of like Sun and Gemini. The healthy expression of it is I absolutely love learning. I want to, the more I learn, the more I understand about things, the more self awareness I have, the better I feel about myself. That's the healthy way in which to use a Sun and Gemini. So use that intelligence, use that communication, and then bring that fiery passion of the Sun, that individualisticness, that goal orientedness, bring that towards wanting to learn and educate and do those type of things that help you improve yourself. People with Sun and Gemini could also end up being in like fields of career. For example, they could deal with any type of career that deals with some type of communication, uh, dealing with other people. You could even potentially see someone who's like a politician, or someone who's a manager or boss, or some person who's like in a position of authority, because you have the Sun sitting here and it's in Gemini, which deals with other people. So they could be in a position of authority where, because they're an intelligent person, because they're good at communication, other people look to them for answers. So they're an authority on a certain subject. They're, whatever it may be. Okay, so I've worked at this company for 20 years, so I'm the manager. I'm in charge of everything. So if people have questions, they come ask me because I'm the authority on it. That type of thing you can see. So you could definitely, and depending on where it is in the, say, for example, if you had like it in the 10th house, of career or something like that, or in the 11th house of gains, you very much could definitely be a person who was like in a managerial position or something like that, or if someone was in the military, this could be the person who is like um, the platoon leader, or the officer, the sergeant, one of the people who are kind of like in charge of whatever group that they're working within, so you can definitely see that type of theme. So again, very, people that can have they can be very passionate people, because you have Gemini being like an air sign and then the Sun being fire. Well, what happens when you feed oxygen to a flame? It gets bigger, right? So this can be something that very much can happen. And for example, with the elements of how oxygen can feed a flame, if the Sun, the ego is the flame, and then what is the oxygen? The air element. So that's the intellect, the communication. So you see how one of the things that you have to watch for with Sun of Gemini is that all that knowledge doesn't inflame the ego in an unhealthy way. So learn how to make that fire of the Sun the fire of sacrifice, the fire of purification. That way, when you feed that flame with that knowledge, it's not burning everything else, it's burning away everything that shouldn't be, everything you are not. That way you're just left with the Atma, with the soul. That's the ultimate goal when you have a Sun in Gemini here. So that's going to wrap this up. I hope you guys found this valuable. If you did, like, comment below, and hit that notification bell as well. That way you don't miss out on any videos I'm putting out that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. If you need to contact me for whatever reason, it may be like if you're interested in consultations, courses, whatever it is, you can click the link below in the description to my link tree. That's a one-stop shop for my website, all my social media. So whatever it is, whether you're needing to follow my work or if you're wanting to book some of my services, all of that information can be found on that link tree. Thank you for tuning in, guys. And remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. I appreciate your guys' support, and I'll see you guys next time.